Okay guys, welcome back to our next tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to do something simple. We're going to learn how to set up our collisions between objects in the scene. So let's jump straight into Unity. All I have here is I have set up a simple project, just a blank 3D project, and I added in a floor, or it's a plane, but it's called the ground, and then I've added in some objects here just so that we can collide into them to see if it works. And then I've also added a cube that we'll use as our player, and I have added in a script onto that and just wrote a bit of code in it so that we can I'll show you here. Where is it? Player. This is the script. It just has a bit of code in it that allows us to move the cube around the scene. I'll show you now. So all this does at the moment is you can move the cube around the objects. You can go through them because we haven't set them up. That's what we're going to do today. But that's it. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and start working on collision. So I'll clear that. So basically what we want to do is we want to do something whenever our cube or our player collides with these objects. So to do that, let us go and create a new script. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and sort this out. Let's create a new folder. We'll call this scripts. And then we'll drag in our player script into there, just to tidy things up. And then in this, let's wait for that to finish. And then let us go and create another script called, what should we call it? Let's call it collision. And then we'll go ahead and open this. So we can open that. So this is where we're going to write all of our code for our collision. And when that eventually opens, okay, so while that opens, let's go ahead and, okay, there we go. Of course it opens now. But anyway, let us go and probably get rid of all of this because we don't really need that. So in here, we will type in, what are we going to type? We're just going to go and say, because it's not a 2D game, we're not going to use a 2D version. We're going to say on collision, enter. And then let us probably get rid of that and just say collision, or type collision, and then we'll give it a name of collision, just how it comes in as a default. So here, let's go, just for now, let's say debug.log, let's say collision.name. So that's just gonna print out the name of the collision. So you'll see now. Okay, so we need to change the name of this class because we can't call it collision because that is the same name of the type that we're using. So let's go and say object collision, just to get rid of this error. So in here we can say, and see if this works, collision dot game object dot name. Okay, and then in here we need to change the name of this over here as well. So we will, not sandbox, we will go object, name that to object collision so it matches our class name in the actual class, so that's fine. We can save that, jump back into Unity. Now, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and drag this or add the script onto all of the objects that we want to collide with. So we'll add these to our 4 objects that are in the scene already. So we'll type in object collision. So now that script has been added to all of them because I selected all of them at once. So that's perfect. But if we go ahead and play this, you'll see that nothing is actually going to happen yet. And that is because we don't have... Okay, it does work. Have we got... Okay, it does work because they automatically come with colliders on them. So that is fine. But let's go ahead and remove these just so you can see. So if we remove the colliders off of all of our objects, just like this, remove component, we should see that nothing happens. So nothing gets printed out. And if we go into them, you see nothing happens. which is fine. But then obviously, like because they already came with colliders in, all we have to do is go and add component onto them. And for our capsule, we'll go and say Capsule Collider, and it has to be just a Capsule Collider because this is a 3D game. So for that, we can change the name for this to be Capsule. Let's just say Capsule-1, just so we can see if anything gets printed out. And we will see something get printed out here, and that is because the capsule is actually colliding with the ground because it's not, when we start the game it's kind of floating. I haven't positioned it properly, so it drops down a little bit onto the ground, which is why we get printed that ground out. So if we go into it and collide with it, you can see now that every time we collide or we go into it, it prints out the object name of the object that's colliding with it, if that makes sense. But if we go out of this and go back to our script, here we could probably just say let's see, game object dot name, just like that. So that is going to print out, instead of the object that collides with the object, that's going to print out the actual object's name. So before it was printing out player, and now it should print out Capsule-1. So if we collide with that, every time we collide with it, you can see it prints out Capsule-1. And obviously you can do the same for the others. Let's just go ahead and add a Capsule Collider to this, so we'll add that in there. And then for this one we need to add what is called a Sphere Collider, there we go. And for the cylinder, obviously we need to add in a cylinder, or what is it? Which one is it? I think it's a Capsule Collider, I think, but anyway. Well, actually let's just do this. So if we go and create another 3D object and create a cylinder, we can see it comes with a Capsule Collider. Okay, so that's the right one, you add onto a cylinder, so that's fine. So now as soon as we play the game, you will see now that all the names of the objects will be printed out because they're colliding with the floor. But just to fix this, so that we can see that it only happens when we collide with the player, let's just go in here and say if collision dot name is not equal to, what do we name it? The ground. So let's go if collision dot name is not equal to ground, then let's go ahead and print out the name of the game object. And here we need to go collision.gameObject.name. So let's go back into our game. Did I save that? I did. So now we can play that. We won't get anything printed out at first when we first click on play game, but we should see the object's names of everything that we collide into. So this one should print out capsule, that one should print out sphere, this one should also print out capsule, and this one should print out cylinder. So that's perfect, that's working nicely. And then if you obviously want to do something else to these instead of just printing out the names, you could do something like you could destroy them. So let's go and say destroy the game object. So that's going to destroy whatever game object the script is attached to. In this case it will be the actual one of these four objects, whichever one we collide into. So let us go and press play. We'll clear that because we don't need to fix that. And then if we collide into, let's go into the sphere now, we should get destroyed out of the scene, which it does. Same thing happens to this capsule, and same thing happens to that capsule, and then the same thing should happen to this what was that? Cylinder, I think it was, yeah. So they're all now destroyed out of the scene, so that's perfectly fine, that's working nicely. And something else you could do is, you could say, we'll just add another if statement in here and say if collision dot GameObject.name is equal, or let's go and use the tag instead of the name, because you can also compare tags. So let's say collision dot GameObject.tag is equal to, or let's say is not equal to, let's just give it a, well, which one are we going to tag? Let's go and tag, let's tag our sphere. So here we'll copy that just so we make it the same. We'll go and add a tag onto this one. First we need to create the tag, so we'll create a sphere tag, and then go back onto our sphere and add in this tag. So now our sphere has got a tag of sphere, obviously. So we'll save that, jump back into our script, and in here we'll say if collision.GameObject.tag is not equal to the sphere, then we'll go ahead and destroy the collision.GameObject. So that's going to destroy the actual cube that we control around this scene. Else we can say, else we'll just say destroy game object. So that's going to destroy the game object that is attached, or the game object that this script is attached to. So we'll save that, jump back into our Unity project, and here if we play this, we'll go through the sphere last, just because it's going to destroy, if everything works properly, it's going to destroy our cube that we control. So if we go into this capsule, okay, so this is actually destroying the camera. Is it? Hold on, let's play that again. So let's try something else. So if we go into our spheres first, maybe we got the wrong way. Let's see. Yeah, so let's go into our sphere. Okay, no, so we're destroying the player, which has got the camera on it, which is why we get that error. So let's see what we did wrong here. If the collision.GameObject.tag is not equal to sphere. Okay, so let's take this out of the if statement and just say here. Let's try and see if that works. So if the collision, first of all, if the collision.GameObject.name is not equal to ground, then we can go ahead and do what's in this if statement, and then we'll say if the collision.GameObject.tag is not equal to sphere, we can go ahead and delete or destroy the game object. So yeah, so this needs to be just game object, and we can say else. In here, let's go and say we want to destroy the collision.GameObject. So we got it the opposite way by accident, so hopefully that works nicely now. So we'll save that, jump back into here. So now every time we collide with either of our three game objects here that is not the sphere, we should just destroy them. So that works fine, that works fine, that one also works fine. So as soon as we collide with the sphere, we're going to get that error because we're going to destroy our player, but our player actually has the camera on it. So we will get the error saying there's nothing to display. Okay, so that clearly didn't work. So let's go ahead and see why that's not working. So let's see. Is not equal else destroy collision.GameObject. Did I save that? Maybe I didn't save it. Let's go and see. So if we play this, let us go and collide with our sphere. Okay, that's working fine. I don't know why, but anyway. You know what we could do, let's say in here, let's just say debug.log debug.log and then let's type in collision.GameObject. Yeah, let's say that, and then we'll do the same thing over here, just so we can see what we're colliding with. So if we play this, let's go and see. Okay, so here, okay, we need to put name in, otherwise it's just going to print out unity.gameObject. So let's say gameObject.name, and oh, wrong one, sorry. In this one, .name. Well, in here we need to put tag rather, .tag. And then in here let's also go .tag. So we'll save that, jump back into our project, and let's see. So we'll play this when it loads. So now if we go and collide with our capsule, let's see, untagged, untagged, sphere, sphere. Okay, so everything's untagged except for this one. So let's see, that one prints out untagged, that one prints out untagged, obviously that one prints out untagged, and this one shouldn't print out sphere. Okay, but it doesn't, which is weird. Maybe. Okay, so let's see, collision. This should be working, I don't know why it's not working, because let's try that. Well, let's just say collision game object dot tag. That needs to be a capital O. So let's jump back and see. If we collide with our sphere, untagged, but okay. Clearly something not working properly here, so let's stop this again quick. So let's go and say if collision dot game object dot name is not, or let's say is equal to sphere. Let me type that properly. Sphere, then we go and destroy the collision dot game object. So let's see if that works. So that should destroy our player like it was the very first time. So if we play that and we collide with our sphere, nothing happens. Interesting. So that's fine. Let's just see if we type that correctly. Sphere. Let's print out debug .log. Let's print out the same thing. Collision dot game object dot name. We can play this and see what's happening. So we play this and we collide with our sphere, nothing happens. And nothing happens there either, nothing happens there. Nothing happens there. Okay, so let's see, which one is the sphere? That is our sphere, so clearly there is something wrong here. Let's go ahead and delete that, and we'll start this again. So let's go and debug .log game, so small letter, game object .name. Print that out, and now we should see the game object of, well, the name of the game object that's colliding with the object. So here I should print out capsule and sphere, and that one obviously will print out cylinder, so that's fine. So let's say if game object dot name is not equal to, what is it? We said sphere. Then we can destroy the game object that's going to destroy the object that we're colliding into. So let's see if this works. Play our game. And let's go and collide into our object, so that gets destroyed, that also gets destroyed, and this one doesn't get destroyed, so that's working fine now. Okay, so that, don't know what happened there, but clearly it's working now. So let's unpause that, or go under game mode and go back into our script, and let's see. Okay, so before we were using collision, which we probably shouldn't. Instead, let's just compare the name with the name of the object by using GameObject.name. So if the name of the object is not equal to a sphere and we collide with it, we'll go ahead and destroy it. And we'll say else, or let's say, just to be safe, let's say else if GameObject.name is equal to the sphere. What am I doing? If the object's name is equal to the sphere, then we want to go ahead and destroy the collision.GameObject. So now that should destroy. That should go ahead and destroy our player, so our cube in this case. So every time we collide with these three objects here, we'll destroy them. But if we collide with this our sphere here, then we'll destroy the player. So let's go see if that works. So we'll collide with this one, destroys that one. So there we go. So it destroyed our player. As you can see in our hierarchy, we no longer have a player, and we can't move anything as well, because obviously we could only move our player, and because our camera is attached to a player, we get this error saying display 1, no cameras rendered, because obviously if you look in our hierarchy now, we have no camera to display. So that's working fine, but just because if we destroy our player, in this case the cube, we can't control anything, so we'll just go ahead and delete that. But you can see that you can destroy objects in different ways. You can either destroy the game object that's got the collision script attached to it, or you can destroy the game object that's colliding with another object. So let's go ahead and save that. We'll just go ahead and delete that as well. So now we can destroy anything that we collide with that's not the ground. So we'll save that and jump back into Unity. And now you should see, just like the first example, I think it was the first example, but anyway, when we collide with any of these 4 objects, they will be destroyed. So destroy that one, destroy that one, destroy that one, and destroy that one. So that's fine. So that is how we set up our collisions. Very simple. It can be a bit complicated if you don't really understand how collisions work. But hopefully this is a tutorial that will help you get that set up. Very simple. You can do a lot more complicated things with it, but this is a very basic tutorial. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. So hopefully this helped you in a way, and I hope that you give this a video a like if you enjoyed it. And also, if you enjoy these videos and my game series, please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I upload a video, or I try and upload a video every day except for Sunday. This one is a bit late. It was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, so I apologize for that. But yeah, if you enjoy them, please go ahead and subscribe and like the channel, or like the videos, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.